everyone, it's Ms. Spencer. Today we'll be doing the Lesson 5 video lesson. Today's objective is students will be able to compare decimals when they were presented in standard form, and unit form. We'll be doing this by watching the video and answering questions that pop up, doing a Google Slides activity, and completing a problem set within Google Forms. We're going to start by comparing 132 and 5/100ths to 132 and 5/10ths. The first thing we want to do is rewrite each number in standard form. Our first number is already in standard form, so we don't have to do anything there. But with our second number, we need to rewrite it from word form to standard form. We see that we have 100, so here, this 100 is represented by this 1. 32 is represented with 32, and means the decimal point, and the 5 is in the tens place, which is why the 5 is to the right of the decimal point. Next, we're going to compare each place value using a place value chart. So we have our place value chart. I'm only going up to the thousands because we don't need it all the way to the millions. We're going to start by inserting each of the numbers correctly into the place value chart. And we're going to start by comparing the biggest place value. So in this case, it's the hundreds place. Notice in both numbers, the 1 is in the hundreds place. So we can move on to the tens place. Here, we have 3 in both numbers in the tens place. So we're going to move on to the ones place. In both numbers, there's a 2 in the ones place. So we're going to move to the tens place. Here we see that in the first number, there's 0 tenths, but in the second number, there's 5 tenths. 5 tenths is bigger than 0 tenths, so 132 and 5 tenths is the bigger number. Now we're going to be comparing these numbers, but they're presented in both expanded form and unit form. The first thing we want to do is rewrite these in standard form. Remember, in parentheses, it's saying 6 times 10, which means the 6 is in the tens place. 3 times 1 means the 3 is in the ones place. 4 times 1/10 means the 4 is in the tenths place. And 5 times 1,000 means there's a 5 in the thousands place. We're not multiplying anything by the hundredths place here because there are 0 hundredths. We don't need to include that in in expanded form. Moving on to unit form, we see the 6 is in the hundreds place, so we put a 6 in the hundreds place. There's no tens, so that's why there's a 0 in the tens place. 3 ones, and then 405 thousandths. That's why we wrote 405, and the 5 is in the thousands place. Now we're going to put both of these numbers into the place value chart. We're going to start by comparing the biggest place values. In that case, this is the hundreds place. But in our first number, there's no hundreds. So what we can do is put 0 hundreds in the hundreds place. Now we can compare 0 hundreds to 6 hundreds. We can see 6 hundreds is already bigger, so we know 603 and 405 thousandths is as big as our bigger number. Finally, we're going to do 42 tenths and 80 thousandths, and we're going to compare this to the expanded number. So we're going to start by writing these both in standard form. Notice here we have 42 tenths. That's why we have 42 with the 2 in the tenths place, and then 80 thousandths. We're going to write 80, putting the 0 in the thousands place. Here, the 4 is in the ones place, the 2 is in the tenths place, and the 8 is in the hundredths place. We're going to use our place value chart. We have 4 and 280 thousandths compared to 4 and 28 hundredths. Let's start by comparing our biggest place value, which is our ones place. Both numbers have a 4 in the ones place, so we're going to move to the tenths place. Both numbers have a 2 in the tenths place, so we're going to move to the hundredths place. Both numbers have 8 in the hundreds place, so we're going to compare the thousands place. But in our second number, the thousands place is blank, which just means there's 0 thousandths. So we can go ahead and put a 0 in the thousands place. Now let's compare the thousands place. We see they're both zeros, so that means that these numbers are equal to each other.